Meet Varvatos, the most powerful sorcerer in the world. Varvatos has become so powerful that he literally has no enemies who can defeat him. However, this has led people to see him as some sort of supernatural demon, while he craves to be seen as a human, which he is. He wants the feeling of having friends who treat him like equals. Basically, the dude is suffering from success. Varvatos looks at the dead body of a woman, and he decides that he wants to live a normal life. So he reincarnates into a very normal family. He is reborn as Ard Meteor, a completely average son to completely average parents. Ard has average martial arts and magic. However, the magic in this world has declined ever since he died as Varvatos. So his magic and martial arts skills are now seen as above average, even though he's just 10 years old. He wants to use this new life to make friends as equals. However, the other kids find him intimidating and run away. So he rants about the whole thing to the town mayor, Mayor Olhide. Olhide advises him not to treat this like a battle, but simply to be kind and respectful. Ard goes and tries to make friends this way, but he overdoes, and the other kids are overwhelmed and run away. Ard wonders if he should just destroy the world, which is something where he has my full support. Suddenly he sees an elf girl named Irina fighting an ancient wolf. Turns out Irina is Mayor Olhide's daughter, and she apparently gets bullied a lot. Ard asks to be her friend, just like he did with all the other kids before. He gets scared that he'll be rejected again. And he's right. Irina turns around and runs away. Later, Olhide and Ard's parents are having tea because they're best friends. Suddenly, Irina comes to him, and so does Ard. Ard is happy that Irina is Olhide's daughter. Irina, well, not so much. He tries to be friends with her, but she sees him as a creep. But Ard is determined to have his first friend ever. One night, a horde of goblins attack their town. Olhide says that Irina went to the forest and hasn't returned, so Ard goes to find her. Meanwhile, Irina is surrounded by a group of goblins, but Ard comes and kills them with his powerful attacks. Irina says that she wanted to die anyways because she is so lonely and bullied by everyone. Ard says that he is also lonely as everyone seems to run away from him. He admits that long ago, he betrayed his best friend, and he does not want to make the same mistake again. Irina says that he'll come to hate her, or even leave her. But Ard promises not to do anything like that. The two of them finally become friends. 7 years later, both Ard and Irina have grown up into good-looking man and woman, and flirting with each other whenever they can. One day, Irina sneaks into Ard's bed and suggests that they enroll in the Academy of Magic. Soon after, they join the Academy of Magic, where they have to take a written entrance exam. Irina gets the top marks. 98. Ard, on the other hand, poor guy got 0. I can totally relate to that. However, Headmaster Goldie says that all of Ard's questions were incorrect because his answers were too advanced. Even the best magicians in the academy could not decode his advanced answers. Headmaster Goldie congratulates all the students because they're getting to study alongside Ard. That's something I can't relate to. He also mentions that Ard's parents once defeated an evil god 10 years ago alongside Olhide. This is something that Ard didn't know himself. They go to their new class where they see a duke's son, Araldo, bullying a succubus named Ginny, claiming that Ginny does not have any skills, and she must have seduced her way in. On top of that, Ginny's family works for Araldo's family, so he feels superior to her. Ard tells Araldo to apologize to Ginny, but he's too cocky to listen to him. All these Draco Malfoy types are the same. Suddenly, their teacher enters the class and Ard is immediately shocked. It's one of the top generals from Ard's army back when he was Varvatos, the legendary apostle Olivia. Ard believes that Olivia is angry at him because of how he disappeared and reincarnated. Thankfully, she does not recognize him. However, she tells Ard and Araldo to fight a duel to settle their differences. Araldo becomes overconfident and throws all sorts of powerful attacks at him. But Ard is no normal person. He blocks them all, with ease. Then, Ard shows him what true power is. He creates a shockingly dangerous attack and hits Araldo. But he also puts Araldo inside a defensive shield. Araldo admits defeat, and Ard tells him not to be fake and pretentious. Olivia immediately asks him how he managed to do a double cast at such a young age. Because remember how I told you at the beginning that this world's magic has declined, so even normal spells are now considered rare lost skills? Well, double casting is considered a lost skill, and Olivia is suspicious of him now. The next day, they have to make groups of 3 for a mission. Irina invites Ginny into their group. They have to kill a B+ ranked black wolf and bring its skin. Ard and Irina kill them with ease, but they destroy the skin as well, because of not being able to control their own powers. Meanwhile, Ginny starts feeling sad because she's too weak to help them. Ard says that succubus like her are supposed to be naturally gifted when it comes to magic. But Ginny seems to have lost all her confidence due to years of harassment and bullying under Araldo. So Ard creates a simplification of the magic casting which allows even Ginny to cast magic. which makes her really happy. Suddenly, a trapdoor falls below them, and they all fall to another floor. They come face to face with the boss of that area, a powerful Minotaur. But Ard is still way too strong for it, and makes it weak using his new magic. Then, he tells Ginny to hit the final blow, saying that the decision will decide if she will grow or stay the same as before. Ginny decides to be stronger, and uses the new casting that Ard taught her, killing the Minotaur. Later, they show the Minotaur horns to the rest of the class, and Olivia becomes suspicious again. Geraldo and his boys tease Ginny, saying that she was probably useless. So she actually slaps him, much to his shock. Then, Irina covers him in wolfskin to complete the insult. But suddenly, Olivia grabs Ard and says that they're going to have nice long chat. She takes him to Headmaster Goldie, who asks him to participate in the upcoming battle tournament which their queen will be watching. That way their academy will get more funding. Ard replies that magic should be used for the good of others, not to make a profit. But Olivia tells him that someone in her past used to say the same thing, probably Varvatos. For now, Ard asks some time to consider the headmaster's request. Later, Ginny asks out Ard on a date. Irina is a little jealous, but Ginny does not mind sharing. In fact, she thinks that Ard should make a harem. Irina is absolutely against that idea. Later they go on their date and the two girls kind of compete for Ard's attention. Lucky guy. Suddenly they hear a group of suspicious men saying that they're setting up a trap for the queen. So they follow the men into the sewers where they have set up a huge magic circle. But they confront them from behind and trap them. Then, the leader uses the magic circle to burn Ard, but it has no effect on him. Obviously, he easily destroys the magic circle and defeats the men. So the leader takes his real form, his demon form, and flies away. So Ard also flies up, much to the girl's surprise. Outside, the demon takes a girl hostage, but Ard uses illusion to save her, and then he destroys the demon. All the people celebrate like they won the World Cup. As a reward for defeating the mysterious men, they are allowed to meet the queen, Queen Rosie. But it turns out, Irina is super close friends with Rosie, and she talks to her rather casually, shocking everyone. Then, Rosie gives a reward to Ard, the reward of being her husband. Irina is against this, while Ginny is excited that the queen will be a part of their harem. Rosie laughs, saying that this was just a joke. So, Ard asks her to increase the funding of his academy. That way, he won't have to participate in the battle tournament. Rosie grants him this wish. But she also gives Ard and Irina the rank of Pentagon class mage, which is one of the highest ranks, and Ginny gets Triangle class, which is slightly lower but still pretty high. Ard is shocked because he just wanted to live a normal life in this life. Ard becomes more popular, and he gets proposals every day, which he rejects. Irina sees this popularity and starts getting jealous of the girls who come after him. Now that Ard has secured funding for the academy, he declines from participating in the tournament. However, the headmaster actually wanted Ard to be a teacher here, but the other noble teachers are against it because Ard comes from a common background. If Ard fought well in the tournament, then even the noble teachers would have to accept Ard as a teacher. So a professor named Jessica agrees to help him. That night, Ginny wears a skimpy dress and tries to seduce Ard. She uses her succubus powers to prevent him from moving. But just then, Irina enters to apologize for her jealousy earlier. When she sees what is happening, well, she just starts hitting Ard. Ginny teases her for using the wrong approach to attract a man. Irina gets angry and challenges her to a duel. Winner gets Ard. Suddenly, Professor Jessica enters the room and suggests that they participate in the battle event. She tells them about the headmaster's plans to make Ard a teacher. If the two girls perform well, then the credit will go to Ard as he's the one who taught them. The girls get excited and agree. The day of the tournament comes, and Olaihe and Ard's parents are also present. Irina and Ginny perform really well because of the easy magic spells that Ard taught them. They defeat all their opponents and reach the finals. But as their fight about to begin, the mysterious cloaked men reveal themselves all over the arena and turn into demons. Then, explosions occur all around the arena. A crystal demon attacks Irina and Ginny, so Olaihe fights it and destroys it. But suddenly, Professor Jessica stabs him in the back. She reveals that she's not Jessica, but actually Elzard, the king of dragons. And all of this was to kidnap Irina. Elzard knocks out Ginny, reveals her dragon wings, and flies away with her. Olaihe is taken to the infirmary where he is healed. The headmaster mentions that Elzard is supposed to be very powerful, on par with the evil gods. Ard does not care, and he promises to save Irina. So, Olaihe gives him access to the royal treasury. Olaihe and Jack talk about how Irina has a deep secret due to their family. If Ard finds out, he might not want to be friends with her anymore. Meanwhile, Elzard says that she's after the blood running in Irina's family. She shows her an orphan of chaos, which was created from the flesh of one of the evil gods that Varvatos defeated many years ago. Elzard plans to use Irina's blood to awaken the evil god again. She also says that if Ard finds out Irina's family secret, then he will probably hate her. Meanwhile, Ard takes some necessary weapons and armor from the treasury, says goodbye to Ginny, and goes to save Irina. The Orphan of Chaos is about to eat Irina, but Ard arrives and he just, well, kills it. Then he does a 9-cast and kills all the lower demons at once. So, Elzard says that Irina's family is actually the true royalty, and she carries the blood of the evil gods. Olhide is the actual king. But since the people wouldn't want a royal family descended from the evil gods, Olhide's family decided to put Rosie on the throne, and now they rule indirectly. But Ard is a good guy, and he does not care for any of that. He knows that Irina is a kind and courageous person. Then he gets into an epic battle with Elzard, and beats her so badly, she turns into her true Dragon King form. She launches a powerful attack on him, so Ard summons the spirit of his old friend Lydia, who turns into a sword. Then he takes his old Varvatos form, and kicks Elzard's ass back into her egg. The Dragon King was not even worth a sweat against Ard. After the battle, Irina realizes that she needs to get even stronger. Meanwhile, a girl named Sylphie has been training and fighting in a dungeon for 3 years. She used to work under the demon lord Varvatos. Sylphie finally comes out, but the world has changed way beyond her recognition. A mysterious man informs her that time moves differently in the dungeon and in the outside world. While she spent 3 years there, the world has moved by 3,000 years. The man informs her that Varvatos has died and reincarnated into a simple teenager named Ard Meteor, and Ard is no longer living up to his responsibilities as the Demon Lord. Back at the Magic Academy, the headmaster informs them that the school will celebrate its 100-year anniversary by conducting a festival, and he wants Ard to participate in a play. He also shows them a threatening letter written on human skin. Later, as they are in class, Sylphie makes a dynamic entry, demanding to know who Ard Meteor is. When she finds out who he is, she demands him to reveal his true identity. But Ard denies being the Demon Lord. Irina scolds Sylphie for making wrong accusations, and Sylphie suddenly sees Lydia in her and immediately becomes jealous. She challenges Ard to a duel because turns out, Sylphie used to make fun of Varvatos, and she only respected Lydia. Olivia allows their duel to find out if Ard is the Demon Lord. They get into an epic swordsmanship duel that causes ripples through the air. But Ard is Ard, and he finally defeats Sylphie. But she does not accept defeat and summons her legendary sword, Argus, and launches a dangerous attack on Ard. He deflects the attack, but parts of the academy get destroyed, and the poisonous mana from Argus knocks out the students. Irina taps her on the head, scolding her that strength should be used to protect, not to hurt. Sylphie apologizes, and Ard also gets a vision of Lydia in Irina. Soon, preparations for the school festival begin, and they get to planning for a theater play based on the Demon Lord Varvatos' adventures. Everyone votes Ard to play the role of Varvatos while Irina will play Lydia, and Sylphie will play the evil gods. Ginny also suggests a maid cafe with very skimpy uniforms. The girls are against it, but when they realize that they'll get to seduce Ard openly, they also accept. Meanwhile, the same mysterious man is spying on them and laughing, saying that all of Ard's life will be ruined when Sylphie finds out what happened 3,000 years ago. The day of the festival arrives. Ard and Irina pretend to enjoy the stalls, but they're actually patrolling the area because of the threatening letter. They come across an ancient tree where supposedly a king known as the Sword King sealed something a long time ago. But not even Irina and Olhide know what it is, and Olivia refuses to talk about it. She says that she's participating in the festival's Sword King battle tournament, and she's also submitted an application in his name. Ard is against the idea, but Olivia threatens to investigate his truth, so he has to accept. The prize of the sword will be a replica of the Holy Sword Vald. Sylphie decides to enter the tournament and win the Holy Sword Vald because it once belonged to Lydia, even though the prize is a replica. Irina and Ginny also enter to gain Ard's attention. The contestants are only allowed to use sword techniques and magic, and the tournament begins. Ard, Irina, Sylphie, Ginny, and Olivia. Basically all the major characters pass the first round. Later, Ard and Ginny go to a popularity contest where Ard runs into Araldo. He's become depressed since their duel, and he has put on a lot of weight. They see Ginny on the stage and how she's more confident than before. Araldo says that he's glad Ard defeated him back then, because it allowed Ginny to become more confident and self-respectful. He hopes that one day, he himself will be able to bow down before Ginny and apologize for all the torment he put on her. But for now, he's afraid to face her. Ginny ends up winning the popularity contest, and this gives her even more confidence. Her maid cafe is also doing well. The Sword King's tournament continues, and Ard is put against Olivia. She starts calling him little brother, which was something she used to call Varvatos. He has to lose while also pretending to show an effort. So he activates a magic shield which is against the rules. Thus, he gets disqualified. Olivia gets thrown way far and she does not come back in time and has to forfeit. Irina and Ginny face each other again. Despite a tough battle, Irina wins and claims Ard all for herself. Meanwhile, the masked man is disappointed that things have not gone as expected, and he decides to do something about it. Soon, it is the time for their class to perform the theater play. They put on a show of fighting one of the evil gods, and Ard starts remembering their actual battle with the evil god Avia. During the battle, Avia kills many of their soldiers with his holy sword Argus, which belonged to him back then. But Sulfi puts lots of magic traps all over the battlefield, which deals a lot of injury to Avia. Seeing this opportunity, Lydia kills him. But Sylphie did not remember where she put the traps, so Varvatos scolded her terribly. But Lydia came to her defense, saying that she was the reason they were able to defeat Avia. Back in the present, the play is a huge success. Later, Sylphie meets the masked man again, who tells her something. She becomes really angry and tells Ard to meet her at the Sword King's tree after the tournament is over. The final battle is between Sylphie and Irina. Sylphie doesn't even give her a chance, knocking her out in one blow. She gets a replica of Lydia's sword Vald and goes to the tree. Ard comes to meet her there. Sylvia then chants some words and the replica sword turns into the real Vald. Turns out, the secret sealed in the Sword King's tree was the real Vald. Then, Sylphie also summons Argus and attacks Ard with the intent to kill. Turns out, the masked man showed her the past, of how Ard killed Lydia. Then he brainwashed her and made Sylphie mad with anger. Sylphie manages to slice Ard and he falls down. Irina and Ginny try to stop her, but she's acting like a mad woman. So, Ard comes in his Varvatos form and stops her. Seeing her defeated, the masked man also arrives and knocks out Sylphie. Then he takes Vald and Argus and attacks Ard with them, but Ard easily cuts his arms and uses Argus on him. The masked man disappears and only his mask remains. Suddenly, the spirit of Lydia appears out of Argus and tells Sylphie not to blame Varvatos. She says that they will meet again soon. To lighten things up, the Academy takes them on a field trip. But on the way, time suddenly stops, and Ard, Irina, and Ginny suddenly fall into a strange white dimension. A strange kid appears before them, claiming to be God. He says that a certain being is trying to disrupt the order of the universe, so he wants Ard to defeat that being. Then, the three of them wake up in the past in ancient times, back when the world had 2 moons. According to Ard's estimate, they are in the biggest city ruled by the Demon Lord, who should be alive during this time. So, they decide to go and meet him. Suddenly, they see a girl being chased by a scorpion monster. Ard kills the monster with a single strike. The mentor of that girl turns out to be Olivia, who thanks her but does not recognize them, of course. Olivia is impressed by Ard, so he asks him to join Varvatos' army. She says that this is an era of constant warfare, and they need all the help they can get. Ard agrees to help her under the condition that they be placed under Verda, the legendary magic researcher and scholar. Verda turns out to be a loud and explosive woman who gets eccentric over little things. Turns out, this is the reason why no one really joins her unit. Ard reveals to her that they're from the future, and Verda gets really excited. Suddenly, 2 more people enter the room, Sylphie and Lydia. Irina and Ginny are really excited to meet the legendary Lydia, who was supposed to be elegant and everything. But she turns out to be a loudmouth woman who swears like a sailor. What's more, she's a pervert who immediately starts hitting on Ginny. Ard stops her and accuses her of physical harassment. Lydia becomes angry, so she calls him outside for a fight. Lydia uses all sorts of dirty tactics to fight Ard, but Ard manages to beat her up as well. They fight the whole day until they are both unable to fight. Lydia admits that she is impressed by him. So Ard asks her to set up an audience with King Varvatos. But Lydia says that he needs to do something noteworthy first, then he will win the king's trust. So Ard's group joins Verda in the upcoming battle. Since Verda's unit is more focused on healing and logistics, they are safe away from the front lines. He also gives Irina and Ginny some special protective magic equipments. Ard recognized the upcoming battle as he's already lived through it. However, the enemy commander, Bulgan, attacks their supply line, where they are right now. Lydia's forces take over the fortress, and then rushes back to deal with Bulgan. But Ard has already defeated him way too easily. He keeps Bulgan alive, and Lydia notes that he was the strongest general they had ever faced. Yet, Ard beat him so easily. Lydia is impressed by him, so she takes them to meet Varvatos in his Grand Palace. Ginny and Irina are thoroughly impressed by the Grand Palace, and Ard is secretly proud because this is, or was, his palace. But suddenly, a huge fire attack is thrown at them, which Ard blocks quite easily. It turns out to be one of Varvatos' the top generals, Alvarto. Alvarto says that he was just testing him. Next up, they finally meet the king himself, Varvatos, Ard's previous form. Irina and Ginny are starstruck, and Ginny even faints. Ard admits that he's actually jealous of himself. Ard and the girls refer to Varvatos as the Demon Lord, but Varvatos is not familiar with that name. Ard is confused because by this time, the many people should be calling him Demon Lord. Varvatos says that there is another person called the Demon Lord. Ard is confused and tells this to Verda. She suggests that the history of this world might be different from the history of Ard's world. Someone might have altered history, leading to the rise of another Demon Lord instead of Varvatos. They remember the kid god's words about how someone has been altering the balance of the world, so they should probably find this world's demon world. But Verda says that the so-called Demon Lord appeared out of nowhere 3 years ago and quickly conquered large areas of land. He does not talk to them when they try to negotiate. When Varvatos fought him, he could not defeat the Demon Lord properly. They are in a dilemma. So, Ginny suggests that they just tell Varvatos about their situation. Ard reminds her that Varvatos has no reason to trust them because they haven't achieved big things yet. Suddenly, Lydia enters the room to call them to a new mission. They go on their mission and Lydia says that they'll be facing Mavilas, the Curse King. Hearing the name Mavilas, even Ard gets scared. He remembers how Mavilas captured Lydia and that he was one of the reasons why he had to kill her. This time, he is determined not to let the same thing happen again. The team enters Mavilas's fortress with determination, but suddenly, someone else kills all the demons and cuts off Mavilas's head. It turns out to be this world's Demon Lord who claims himself to be the enemy of the world. Then he declares war on them and vanishes. King Varvatos calls a council to discuss this new threat. Ard and the girls are also invited. Varvatos decides to settle the whole thing in one day by deploying all 4 heavenly generals and himself in the same battlefield. If they don't end this within 1 day, then they will be vulnerable to attacks from other areas. They will attack in 3 days. Ard goes to his room to prepare and thinks that Lydia has not been cursed in this dimension. But suddenly, the Demon Lord appears there. He says that history has not been corrected and Lydia will be cursed sooner or later. Then he says that he and Ard are the same. He removes his marks and we see an older version of Ard. He says that he also lived as Varvatos and he was also reborn as Ard. But he lost many people and many things quickly, resulting in him being like this. The god sent him to his era and he plans to save Lydia from being cursed. But the god also gave him a mission, to destroy this world. But he is still haunted by the sin of killing Lydia. So he wants to become a villain to the world and have Lydia kill him. That way, he believes that they will both be free of their past sins. He asks Ard to join him and gives him 3 days to decide. Lydia realizes that something is bothering Ard, so she pretends to get into an argument with they have a fight to help him clear his mind. Then, he asks her if she would sacrifice everything she has to regain something she's lost. To answer his question, Lydia takes him to a destroyed town where the spirits of the dead surround them. Lydia says that this used to be a demon town, and they attacked this place because of its strategic location. They conquered the area, but the citizens did not accept them and would even attack them at night. So, Lydia and her men killed all the citizens because they thought it was the best decision. She knows that she committed a sin, so she plans on creating a world full of peace. Then she plans to die a painful and miserable death. She says that she does not deserve anyone's sacrifice to be saved. She asks him not to change anything about the way she intends to die. Later they go back and Lydia gives a gift of hairpins to Irina and Ginny. Soon, the day of the battle with the Demon Lord arrives. All the top generals are in the same battlefield for the first time in history. Meanwhile, Ard meets up with the Demon Lord with the decision not to save Lydia, because that is not what she wants. She wants to die in a way that will atone for her sins. But the Demon Lord does not accept that answer, so they get into a battle. But they are evenly matched. The battle will either end in a draw, or they will kill each other. The Demon Lord reveals that he chose this day to hear Ard's answer to distract him from the actual battle that the rest of the army is fighting. Meanwhile, Irina and Ginny have been left behind in the palace because the battlefield would be too dangerous for them. Just then, Lydia's helper, Ladima, says that Ard has summoned them to the Demon Lord's castle. Ladima says that Ard may have found the reason for the Demon Lord's immortality. He might have separated his soul into a different vessel. Irina and Ginny's mission will be to enter the castle in secret and destroy the vessel. On the way, they are attacked by some enemies, so Ladima stays behind to hold them back. While the battle rages on the battlefield, Irina and Ginny sneak into the castle and find the giant vessel. They prepare to destroy it but get caught in a magic trap. Ladima set it up and she reveals herself. This whole scene is seen by Ard and the Demon Lord. The Demon Lord threatens to harm the 2 girls if Ard does not join his army. He still believes that he should save Lydia, despite her wishes. He'd rather destroy the world than let Lydia die again. Meanwhile, Irina and Ginny use the unique spells that Ard taught them to get out. So, Ladima summons tons of demons, but Lydia comes and kills them. Turns out, the hairpins she gave the girls were trackers. Ladima says that everything she's doing, it's for Lydia. But Lydia knocks her out and kills the remaining demons. She says that it is her duty as a champion to bear her sins and die with her sins. Then she destroys the soul vessel. With that, the Demon Lord is no longer immortal. Ard says that the Demon Lord is not actually trying to save Lydia. He's actually trying to free himself from the guilt of killing Lydia. To gain his internal peace, he's just using the idea of saving Lydia. The two of them take up their more advanced forms, and they start an epic battle. The Demon Lord makes a powerful strike on Ard, but the spirit of Lydia comes and stops his attack. Ard cuts him. While he is dying, he asks Ard to remember the precious times they spent with Lydia. He says that Ard is committing the same sin again by letting Lydia die. Suddenly, Ard starts glowing golden, same as Irina and Ginny. Lydia says that they are returning home to the future. She had guessed that they were from the future and asks what it's like. Ginny says that it's a peaceful and wonderful world, just like Lydia had longed for. Then, Lydia gives them a message to give to Ard. Then, she goes to Varvatos and informs him that Ard and the girls went to their home where they belong. Meanwhile, Ard meets the God Kid again and asks who he is. The kid doesn't answer, but he does say that he's an ally. Later, Ard, Irina, and Ginny wake up back in the academy carriage. The girls still have the hairpins that Lydia gave them. Irina gives Ard Lydia's message. No matter what happens, we'll always be best friends. He suddenly feels Lydia's spirit pushing him onwards. Ard thanks Lydia and goes towards the girls. Subscribe for more videos like this, turn on the notification and leave a like to help the channel out. Thank you for watching.